Stay tuned for Ellie, private investigator. Today's adventure involves secret documents and double agents high in the sky over San Francisco in 1939.
I'm Ellie, private investigator. I never know when a case will come my way. I'd been in Honolulu on a case and was flying home on the Pan Am China Clipper. It's an 18-hour flight over the Pacific Ocean with hot meals served and the night spent in a private sleeping berth. I had settled into my berth, but sleep eluded me. A passenger in another berth had a watch that chimed on the hour, and I heard those chimes several times before sleep finally overtook me. In the morning, I woke to more chimes, but these were sounded by the steward. After breakfast, the plane approached the coast of California. We wafted over the towers of the Golden Gate Bridge and glided to a soft landing on the waters of San Francisco Bay. I exited the Pan Am Treasure Island seaplane terminal, and behind it was the Golden Gate International Exposition in full swing.
Are you going to the exposition, miss?
Oh, no. Hello. You were on my flight. You're a Navy Lieutenant Commander. I recognize the 2.5 stripes on your sleeve.
Yes, you are correct. Commander Johansson, at your service, ma'am. During the flight, we did not have occasion to speak.
As I was talking with the commander, another passenger standing to my left noticed that his pocket watch was missing. He ran back inside, exclaiming that either he had lost it on the plane or someone stole it.
My. I hope that fellow finds his watch. I'm sure it was the one that was chiming all last night.
Before I could add a sympathetic reply, a big black Cadillac limousine pulled up in front of us. And out of it stepped a very dapper older man in a well-tailored suit.
Well, I'm amazed. Here I am, and here are the two people I need to see.
Well, sir, here you are. Why did you want to see me?
Miss Adder, direct and assertive, just as I was told you would be. I'm Jack Caldwell, and I'm the president of Caldwell Electronics, and I have a job for you. The man you are standing next to is Commander Johansson, and he is delivering a briefcase to me. And now that his job is done, I want you to take this briefcase to Los Angeles.
Well, yes, I could do that. But why do you need a second courier?
You are seeing government contracts at work. My company has a contract with the U.S. Navy to develop radar. My office is in San Francisco, and my factory is in Los Angeles. The Navy tested our equipment in the hills around Pearl Harbor. By contract, they bring the secret documents of those tests to me by the shortest possible route. The Clipper only goes to San Francisco, and here's where the Navy's responsibility stops.
Sounds quite convoluted, really. I do see a curious logic, though. Why choose me?
I need someone who is reliable to carry the documents on to Los Angeles. And if spies try to steal the documents, I want someone with detective skills who can thwart their attempts. You have come highly recommended, and I'm delighted you arrived here just as the commander did.
Yes, very handy to be sure. But what about the commander? He who waits beside me?
Yes, quite so. Hello, Commander. I apologize for ignoring you, but I needed to bring Miss Adder up to speed.
That is fine, sir. Now that I have delivered the documents, I am available to return to Pearl Harbor with whatever you need me to take.
Excellent. We have a prototype cavity magnetron that I want installed in the Opana radar station. Return to my home with me after we drop off Miss Adder.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Caldwell gave me the briefcase. We all went in the limo to the Oakland airport, where I was put on a small Pacific Seaboard Airlines plane that would make several hops on its way to Los Angeles. I sort of felt like I was getting a bum's rush, but I smelt money in this task, so I was happy to play along. Once in the air, I had time to examine the briefcase. I saw it had locks and lead seals on the top. I turned it over and discovered that the stitching on the bottom had been removed and then put back. I decided that someone, somewhere along this long journey, had tampered with the documents, perhaps stolen them. As the plane made several hops on its way to Los Angeles, I got off at the first stop in Monterey. I phoned Western Union to send a telegram to Caldwell, instructing him to keep Johansson at his home and to send the limo to meet me at the Oakland airport. I caught the next plane back north. Upon landing, the limo was waiting. I was whisked to Mr. Caldwell's mansion in Piedmont and quickly ushered into his library by the butler. Mr. Butler, is that mantel clock accurate?
Of course, madam. It strikes the chimes every hour.
Ellie, what is going on? I expect you in Los Angeles. I can only assume you have a good reason for this. Please come in. Meet some of my scientific staff. This is Dr. Mary Lewis and Dr. Fred Niesel. You already know Commander Johansson.
Someone has disrupted the integrity of the briefcase, and the documents are either stolen or compromised in some way.
Let's see. Give me the briefcase, Ellie.
Caldwell took the case from me and gave it to Dr. Niesel, who opened the locks and broke the lead seals. He took out the documents and examined them.
These are the original documents, and they are complete. I don't see a problem here.
My heart sank. Did I make an error in my deductions? Had I assumed wrongly?
Wait, everyone. Let's look at this with greater information and reflection. Miss Adder seems perfectly competent to me, and if she says something is wrong, then we need to look closer.
Mr. Caldwell turned and addressed a man I had not noticed and who had been waiting in a far corner.
Please join us here, Giddings.
I recognize you. You were the steward on the China Clipper.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Giddings works for us, and we placed him on the airplane to watch the commander and to help him if needed. You see, we suspected spies might be at work.
Everything went fine. He needed no help, and no problems arose.
Commander Johansson is a man of great trust. We have absolute faith in his integrity.
The commander stood up and faced me. He sneered.
I have nothing to fear from you, Miss Adder.
At that moment, the accurate mantel clock across the room began to strike the hour. It was 8 p.m. A second later, I heard a softer chime sounding the hour. Both timepieces continued to sound. The chimes stopped after 5, and the clock across the room added 3 more to make 8 strikes total. That chiming watch was on Honolulu time.
Mr. Caldwell, I have the new cavity magnetron, and, with your permission, I will make my return journey to Hawaii. Goodbye, Miss Adder.
I saw a bulge in the commander's uniform coat pocket as he stood in front of me. I stepped up to him, reached into his pocket, and pulled out the pocket watch that had just chimed and that had kept me company during my trans-Pacific night. I held it up under his nose and yelled at him. "You stole this watch on the China Clipper. A thief is not trustworthy and is without integrity. Steal one thing, and I'm sure you stole the documents as well." Still holding the pocket watch under his nose, I grabbed his lapel with the other hand and shook him. "Come clean, you thief!" He let out a gasp, and his eyes grew so wide I could see white all around the irises. He pushed me back into a chair and bolted for the door. Little Dr. Lewis stuck out her foot and tripped him.
Gotcha, you double dealer.
Mr. Caldwell and Dr. Niesel picked him up and thrust him into a chair.
Do as Ellie says, Johansson. How did you do it?
I figured you had someone watching me, but it's private, in the sleeping berths of the airplane. It was easy to pull out the stitching on the briefcase, photograph the documents with my little Minox camera, return the documents, and sew the case back up. No one would have known I made a copy of everything. My countrymen have the film. You, woman, you were lucky to guess my plan. But regardless, we have bested you here, and will beat you in the coming war.
I sunk back into my chair, feeling both elated at solving the mystery, but sad at losing the information contained in the documents.
It's all right, Ellie. We still have the documents, and we can put them to good use refining our radar equipment. Also, Johansson is caught and can't do any more harm. I hate to say it, but this is a game of win some, lose some. Relax for now. I'll get you on the next plane to Texas.
I've kind of had it with flying. It's been a busy day. Perhaps a slow and peaceful train ride home?
A first-class ticket and a healthy fee are yours. Thank you, Ellie.
A lovely train ride sounded great. I felt like I'd been flying non-stop for a long time. How do I get myself into these things?
You have been listening to Ellie Adder, Private Investigator, in the case of the Sign of the Chimes. Next time, Ellie Adder gets off the train in Winslow, Arizona. She stays at Rancho La Posada, where she crosses orbits with meteors and movie stars. Stay tuned for further mysteries and adventures. Our cast: Ellie Adder, Private Investigator, was played by Emma Bryan. Mr. Cadwell was played by Morgan Marion. Commander Johansson was played by Steve Martell, featuring Jason Marion as the butler, Kelly Martell as Dr. Lewis, David George as Dr. Niesel, and Jeff Stocky as Giddings. Written and produced by Jason Marion and Roger Marion. Music by Jason Marion. This is your announcer, Ben Pearson. Have a pleasant evening.